Greetings, YouTube. I recently just graded the new 6-star featured crystal. I was more positive than negative on it, but it still left the kind of spark and excitement to be desired overall that I definitely felt with the new 5-star featured crystal. That is the best 5-star featured crystal from top to bottom we have ever seen in the game. So maybe the bar was too high, maybe the stakes were too high. I don't know, you tell me. But we have more to review today because not only do we have a change to Incursions, which also reminds me that I will now be fighting Sector 8 against Dr. Doom, because screw that. Oh, Katie Candy, I hope you're ready to see me get wrecked. But we have all these different catalyst bundles. Now, for a long time, really, it's only been from about January to August of 2020, but in COVID years, those are decades. For a long time, I felt like these Tier 5 class catalysts were missing because the basic catalysts were what these daily specials were all about. But Kabam did something really interesting in the last couple weeks. They gave us a Tier 5 catalyst bundle that included a Tier 5 class catalyst selector. Now, they only limited one, but we're hopeful that that is a common theme now, given how rare those items are. So let's start with the lowest and then move up. Tier 3 Catalyst Bundle, 1 Tier 4 Basic, 3 Tier 3 Class Catalyst Crystals, the 1 out of 6 RNG, 1 Tier 1 Alpha, and 100,000 gold. Well, the gold is retail price. 100,000 gold for every $10 purchased in this game is going to get you the expectation of that. But this is a bundle that we seriously would see for this price 3 or 4 years ago. Like, yes, I know people don't like to hear it, but 2017 called. They want their offer back. And in this way, at a minimum, you have to make these Tier 3 class catalyst selectors. At a minimum, you have to give us 3 Tier 4 basic and at least a couple more Tier 1 alpha, 3 and 3, at least 2 and 3. Keep in mind, this is the same price as the Black ISO store. So especially if you're a Cavalier, which I get this isn't targeted for Cavalier members, but just think about the progression you can go from starting out as, say, Proven, eventually making it to Uncollected or Cavalier, and having for $10 the same price as this bundle, just an infinitely better value for your money in the Black ISO store. It's just infinitely better. So this deal starts off with a big fat F, negative infinity and beyond even. Okay, for $30, we get 2 Tier 4 class catalyst selectors, which again, I think at this point, it is best to have them be $10 a piece to give us 3 for $30, and I would say all the way 5 Tier 4 basic. Keep in mind, this is the same price that they routinely are now offering to take a 4-star to rank 5 or a 5-star to rank 3. So that's going to take the place of 3 Tier 4 class catalysts, not 2, and more than 2 Tier 4 basic. It's really an offer that at most should be $20 at this point. So it's $10 overpriced minimally. We talk about the gold, and somehow the gold has not changed from the right side deal. This should be a minimum of 300,000 gold, and that's at worst. It's 100,000 gold. It's a joke of an offer. We are also giving this an F grade, starting off saving our money. But here is the big drama. Will they give us again the Tier 5 Class Catalyst Selector, the 10% that we saw for the first time a couple weeks ago? All right, we see, before we look at the price, 2 Tier 2 Alpha, 1, it's back. And the big question, too, is there going to be a limit of 2? 1 10% Tier 5 Class Catalyst Fragment Selector, 15,000 Tier 5 Basic Catalyst Fragments. This thing was 30,000. So the Tier 5 Basic Catalyst Fragments is very disappointing. It's half of what we got offered for $50 just in the last 2 weeks. And then the gold is straight up a slap in the face. This was 30,000 Tier 5 Basic Catalyst Fragments, and was it $1 million gold last time? Or maybe 1.5 million? So they screwed and nerfed over those rates. Is it still $50? And is it limit 1? It's limit 2, and it's $50. Okay, so let's be honest with ourselves. The quote-unquote whales of this game, the people who have 100% cleared everything from the Abyss to Act 6 to all of the variant difficulties, They only care about this item right here. This 10% Tier 5 Class Catalyst Fragment Selector is actually, when you limit the two, a 20% Tier 5 Class Catalyst Selector, and that means not 4,500 Tier 5 Class Catalyst Fragments of the selected class, but 9,000 when you double it and get both bundles. Even though the gold is pathetic in this, even though the Tier 5 Basic Catalyst Fragments have been cut in half, as we now are once again being asked to pay $150 for one Tier 5 Basic, which is still only half of what you can get to take your 5-star up to rank 5, and a third or 33% of what you need, because you need 3 fully formed Tier 5 Basic to take your 6-star to rank 2. That's not ideal. In the 2 Tier 2 Alpha, probably should be at least 2.5 to 3 at this point. But none of that matters because this is a selector. We have seen those whales, those best of the best in the game, struggle and use a ton of units, and who knows, maybe even some cash, to get through the Cavalier You're the Real Star rewards. We've seen them struggle with 4 stars, still champions you can't bring into Act 6 to become Cavalier, just to get this thing, just to get a crystal, not a selector. That's a 10%er. So you trade all of that strife for a much better item for $50 in a game that so many summoners spend, good grief, 1,000 plus a month on? And that's very conservative for some people. Some people spend thousands of dollars on one featured Cavalier crystal. I do want to say this. I'm tempted to buy this because of that 10% Class Catalyst Selector of the Tier 5 Class Catalyst variety. What would you do if you're me? I know that's a scary question, but now that I have Corvus at rank 3, I can take Aegon up to rank 3 eventually, but I have a feeling the community may vote for me to purchase both and get 9,000 Tier 5 Mystic, because that would put me at over 28,000 Tier 5 Mystic, which would then be over half of what I need to take Dr. Doom to rank 3. I am not the best with Ghost, but I do have by far the most Tier 5 Tech Catalyst fragments right now, and that would get me within 6,000 of forming it. My Ghost as a 6-star is not awakened. I am not trying to do this as a flex. I am just showing you my roster for context purposes. So we have Dr. Doom, Guillotine 2099, although I don't know if I would use her much at rank 3 even. I don't use her much at rank 2. I bring her into Incursions sometimes. But in theory, I could take my Guillotine 2099 to rank 3 with the fully formed. Aegon, as I just mentioned, who I'm excited to someday bring to rank 3 as well. So it's between skill, tech, and mystic. What would you do if you were me? I have a feeling the vote's probably going to be mostly for Dr. Doom, but I appreciate your comments, and I will read them all when I get off of work tonight. So overall, the grade for everything besides the 10% Tier 5 Class Catalyst Fragment Selector is a C-. It's below average, the value of what we've seen for this $50 bundle. But because it's Limit 2 and because this is the selector, you've got to give this at least a B+ to an A- simply for the fact that this is the item that people care about now. They probably got their Tier 2 Alphas in overflow. They've got the Tier 5 Basics close to or at overflow. So more of those is only going to be put in their overflow. The 10% Tier 5 Class Catalyst Fragment Selector on the other hand is where they're going to make bank. Everything else is an F, but the title of this video is probably going to be Kabam is about to make bank today, because it's the first time we've seen this Limit 2, and so many top alliances are going to almost force their summoners to buy it, because just like Signature Stone deals, despite the sigflation of those deals, they're going to look at these and say, we have to keep the prestige wars up. If you buy both of these, it's closer to taking that 6-star to rank 3. Heck, maybe it's going to get quite a few summoners there, because 20% of a Tier 5 Class Catalyst Fragment Selector when you get both is a lot. That is significant in this game for sure. It's the most we have ever seen in this deal, and I cannot say that enough. If they do this even once a month now, this exact same bundle, then you're going to have people spending $1,200 plus tax. And that's not even before you convert it to the currency that isn't as strong against the dollar in other countries like Australia and Canada. And people will still do it every time because they are that thirsty to get their 6 stars to rank 3 and to keep up with the Alliance Quest Prestige race especially. What grade would you give these? Are you interested in them? Comment below, let me know, and please let me know which class you think I should go for. My guess is it's going to be Mystic, but maybe I'll be wrong.